All right, welcome everybody to the RevoCast. I'm your host, Jay Lott. I'm here with one of the most important guys on the JUCO scene in Bash Jimenez, and also one of the most important guys in all of college basketball scene, Niko Bossinakis. Fellas, how y'all doing?
Doing great, man. Another day, man, chasing the dream.
Yeah?
Slow motion's better than no motion, man. Getting back to it, new year. Super excited for the year ahead, man. It's a big one.
New year. We capped off December with the Revocruit Rematch. Last time you guys seen us, we were at the AAC, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a little chilly that day, but
was.
really, really good game, really exciting game. Let's get into it, man. Let's just recap the game real quick. What did you think about the game? What stood out about that game to you?
Well, I must say you got us, number one.
Yeah.
You picked the right team, man. Niko and I, we stayed with the Texas side of things, went with Texas Tech. Arkansas got after it, man. Offensively, defensively, two powerhouse performance by Darius Acuff and Trevon. Really put it together. I like to see that mix because it's a senior and true freshman. Calipari, man, doing his thing.
Yeah. What did you think about what stood out about that game to you? Especially, we'll start with Arkansas.
No, for sure. I mean, Darius Acuff is a dude.
Yeah.
I kind of knew, but I didn't really know going into the game. And after watching him in person and just seeing him physically, the way he was able to impose himself into the game and make plays at will, I thought it was super impressive. Trevon Brazile really impressed me as well. Brought a lot to the table. Obviously a veteran who started his career off at Mizzou, ended up transferring to Arkansas and has had an up and down career, but is putting together a really good year this year.
Yeah, I think you guys really hit. Acuff was really, really good. That's my first time seeing him play, obviously in person. One thing that stood out to me was that first half for him. I think he shot the ball maybe 4 or 5 times. He really let the game come to him, but he had 6 assists in the first half, and I didn't see his body language change, whether it was good or bad, because Arkansas was down for the majority of that game, right? And Acuff, he really let the game come to him. What did you guys think about Carter Knox in that game?
I mean, it was a good third option for Arkansas.
Yeah.
I mean, shot it well, but I want to say something about what you said, Darius Acuff. Started in warm-ups. We saw it. First person on the floor, getting the ball work in, taking shots. I mean, it started with him, and like you said, he kind of just let the game come to himself and really had a good night.
Yeah, there's no secret why people are talking about him in lottery talks, and I'm hearing a lot of draft talks about Acuff, just really, really poised. Brazile, Trevon, I think he showed that he can really shoot the ball. Quiet as kept. I mean, he's like a career 36 from the 3 guy, and being able to play, have a big game under those lights. What did he show you, Niko?
I mean, I think the biggest thing outside of the game, he played tremendous. But I think it's also a story of weathering the storm. Like I said, he started his career at Mizzou, went to Arkansas, was having a great year, tears his ACL. Obviously, there's a new coach that comes in Calipari. He stays there. He doesn't transfer to a new school, and now it's paying off, and he's playing a tremendous role for this Razorback team and bringing a lot to the table for them. So just staying the course and being a part of it can really go a long way sometimes, and not transferring out.
Yeah.
He started a solid stretch, I think, was the game-changing sequence in the whole rematch, man. He hits that 3 off the, pick and pop. They go down, get a stop, and then Acuff finished at the rim, and that was 8 minutes in the second half. Changed the game, so, yeah.
Yeah, Brazile shooting, he's putting career-high numbers up across the board in both three-point shooting, points, rebounds. Man, did he show up. And there was a lot of NBA personnel that was in attendance in that game, and I think he showed that he's healthy, and when healthy, he's a problem. Let's go over to Texas Tech now. Who really stood out for you? There were some obvious guys, but Texas Tech, Niko, I'll let you get the low-hanging fruit there with them.
For sure. No, I think obviously JT Toppin, played against him when I was in college. When he was at New Mexico, I was at Eastern New Mexico. So I've known about him. I was an older guy. He was a freshman at the time, but a lot better player than I was. So
yeah.
I've seen what he can do at a high level, and for that to translate to a 30-point game in the Revocruit rematch and a game we're hosting was obviously pretty cool when that was not too long ago. So he definitely stood out to me.
Yeah. What did you think? I'll give you, these are just, I'm just underhanded pitching softballs here. What did you think about Christian Anderson, Bash?
Man, the PG, he was really getting to it, man. He had that was a statement game for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think going head to head with Darius Akov, probably the top point guard in the country. He had something to prove. People knew he could play, but they didn't know what type of they didn't know he could hoop like that. And I think it showed there tonight. What do you have? 20-something points.
Yeah, I think he had 11 assists.
11 assists, double in assists is crazy. And it was a tight game. Obviously, I know they took the L, but he bounced back the next week and beat Duke.
Beat. I want to talk about that too, actually. But before, so I talked to the GM. I talked to Buffington before the game. Metroplex legend, big time guy. Now at Texas Tech there, and we talked about Anderson. I asked him about Anderson. I asked him why more people weren't talking about him. During he had been really good leading up to that point. He told me before that game, he said he thought he was going to have a big game that game, and he said a lot of people were going to be talking about him after that game. Now, they didn't win the game, right? But they did bounce back against Duke in the next game, and he was big time late in that game. Did you guys get a chance to catch that game as well? That was a game right after the Revo rematch.
Yeah, obviously came off the win against Northern Colorado after the Texas Tech Revocruit rematch, and then got in against Duke. He 3 straight performances where he got active. And, Coach McCaslin took a little bit on his own chest, saying that, he only played 6 players in, Arkansas Tech game. So with the rotation he implemented going in to beat Duke, that was Duke's only loss still, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Huge 3-game sequence for him.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that stood out to me too was McCaslin didn't play a lot of guys, and I thought down the stretch, it just takes so much energy to play at that level, and Arkansas was just fresher in those big moments, and it's really hard to answer, when you only got 6 guys playing. That's pretty tough. Did you get a chance to see any of the Duke?
No, for sure. I was super impressed with Christian Anderson. Obviously, dominant those last 3 games.
Yeah.
But to beat a team like Duke, any team led by John Shire is a formidable competition. So for them to be able to compete and win the game in Madison Square Garden in New York, right around
that was
Christmas.
in the Garden. That was at the Garden.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Incredible game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big
Wow.
stage.
Those are two
The
big
biggest,
games.
damn near the biggest stage.
Yeah, that's
biggest.
it's the Mecca. That's what they
The
call it, right?
largest.
They call it
For
the
sure.
Mecca, right?
For sure.
No, that's incredible. Another guy I wanted to bring up from the Revo rematch that I don't think gets talked about enough is DJ Wagner. DJ Wagner, another guy that he's doing his thing out there. It's not showing up in the box scores, right? It's not. But the things that he does defensively as a team defender, he is a scoring threat, a major scoring threat. I think to have a guy like that, and he plays within himself as well. He could easily be out there saying, guys, look, I was the #1 player in the country coming out of high school. I'm going to force some shots up and try to get myself going. But he does, at least it appears to me, obviously I'm not in the locker room and everything with him, but it looks like he really does what they ask him to do. And it's almost as if he carries a professional type attitude out there, collegiately playing. And he's really stood out to me. I mean, that game was like, I was really curious, and I watched him because I remember him from the year before where it looked like they leaned on him a little bit more offensively. And I was curious to see, because I saw the type of minutes that he's playing, but the numbers aren't there. And I was really looking to see what he's doing to warrant the minutes that he's playing. And I think he's doing a tremendous job I call it being a pro. Sometimes you get in situations where you're asked to do things that, they're not the most glamorous things, but you do them to help the team. So, man, I look for Arkansas to be really, really, really good this year for that. And then, we didn't talk a whole lot about Jalen Petty, another guy that I thought he plays pretty hard for Tech. Sure. Another guy that comes out and plays really, really hard, shoots it well. He had 8 points, and I think he had 6 boards in that game to help them as well. But guys, what a game that was. But let's go ahead and shift gears. Let's talk about the monster just a few days ago. Made his debut coming from the G League to NCAA. First ever?
First ever.
James, I hope I'm saying this right. Najee,
yeah.
Najee. What are your thoughts about players coming from the G League to still come back to college?
Well, I think it's a double-edged sword. I think a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on it. Obviously, it's something different that we haven't seen in the American game before. What the NCAA has said, and which is true, is overseas players are allowed to play professional basketball, and then they come to America and play college basketball in the NCAA. They want to afford that same opportunity to American players. So if you haven't signed an NBA contract, even though you've been drafted, even though you've gone through the process, they want to give the American kids the same opportunity the international kids have, which has been happening for the last couple of years. So I get it. It's definitely something different, but he's a great player, and he's got a great opportunity at a high-level program now.
So he made his debut, 5 points, 4 rebounds. Honestly, I didn't know it was a mid-season thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is really different.
Big 12 matchup.
Big 12 matchup.
TCU, they play TCU.
TCU is good this year.
Mm-hmm.
They let one slip away last night against Kansas, but
16 minutes. Let's throw that out there too. He didn't play a full game.
Yeah, 16 minutes. I think he had 4 fouls though. I think he, what's your timing, everything. So he never played or never enrolled in a college coming out.
No, he didn't enroll in a college. He was drafted 31st pick, first pick of the second round of the NBA draft a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
Never signed an NBA contract, played in the G League, and then played in the Summer League, but never appeared in an NBA game.
So obviously that changes the landscape of things a lot we heard a lot. When it first happens, I'm seeing things like, oh, well, maybe LeBron's going to come back and play with Bryce, and there's all these different things. Nobody understands the rules. Niko, you have a really good understanding of the rule, and you really kind of broke it down pretty much for us. You're kind of who we lean on for those rules. You've read through the actual rules and everything?
Yeah, so I saw what the NCAA president put out on it, and it was essentially what I just said earlier is these players overseas can come to America and play after they've played professionally for multiple years. The NCAA wants to afford that same opportunity to the American players so they can go back and play college and make money. And the rule is You have to be 5 years within coming out of high school.
Okay.
And you have to only make enough money that is enough to live off of. So what that means, I don't know what the exact
Well, I
rule
can
is
tell
on
you,
that.
it means a lot more money now than it used to mean.
It's very true. That's very true. But essentially, that's the rule in place.
Wow. That's okay. So, as this happened, a lot of things transpired, a lot of headlines, a lot of clickbait and things like that. But a lot of high school guys are starting to look. Everybody's like, man, what does that mean for high school guys? But I want to know, what do you think, as I lean on my junior college expert here, what does that mean for junior college guys to now see that, okay, I'm a junior college guy, I'm doing my thing out here, I'm trying to get it, and now I'm saying, oh wait, they're signing G League guys too now. What do you think that means, Bash?
Well, I think it's going to be very similar to what happened to high school players when the transfer portal became a bigger deal. Just because, the high school guys, top 50, 100, were going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody outside of that was just going to go a level down, right? You might, if you were a mid-major player, you might go a low major. I think very similar, the JUCO guys are going to be in a similar form or fashion, where if they're a JUCO guy who might be a mid-major player, is probably going to go a low major. If you're on the fringe of D2, low major D1, then you're probably going to go D2. If the pool is that big in the G League and being able to pull those players out, but it won't be it won't affect them too much. I mean, at the end of the day, schools only have so much money.
Yeah.
They still got to recruit JUCO because of the, financial budgets, and until collective bargaining comes along, I don't think there's going to be much change for them. But they are going to feel a certain type of way that, some G League guys are coming down to play. But I don't think it'll be too big of an effect.
What do you think on that?
Well, I think, to his point, everybody's going to level down in some form or fashion. We've already seen it with the transfer portal. The last few years it's even harder for high school players to be recruited and be seen. Mm-hmm. And you bring into account professional players, so G League players that are coming from overseas. There's so much talent on planet Earth that college coaches can go find players. So it's not going to affect one person. We've already seen it affect the high school kids. It's going to affect the JUCO kids in some form or fashion, and it's going to affect some of the transfer portal kids in some form or fashion. The reality is, if you're a player, you have to find the best fit for yourself and go where you're wanted and go where you're going to have an opportunity to play and thrive. Whether that's the high major Division I level, it's D2, D3, you have to find somewhere where you're going to be a real player and have an opportunity to compete at a high level.
So as we look at that, what type of pass now as we shift from junior college to a high school player? So now I'm a high school player. I see something like this. I see, wow, now, I'm competing against summer league guys, overseas guys. Once upon a time, I remember when you were just competing, trying to be the best guy in your city, mm-hmm. right? I'm trying to be the best guy in the town. You're trying to be the best guy at the rec where you play at. You're trying to be the first team all district and everything. But you said something, Niko. Now you got to be one of the best guys on earth.
Yeah.
on planet Earth. And I think it's opening a lot of eyes. How do you see that, Niko? Let me ask you, how do you see that affecting high school players now when they're looking this? What's some of the feedback or things? How do you see it yourself?
No, I'm glad you asked. And obviously there's over 500,000 high school kids out there that want an opportunity to play at the next level. We go into these rooms a lot of the time and ask these kids, do you want to play college basketball? And almost everybody raises their hand. Mm-hmm. So everybody wants to play, and there's only so many spots available to play. So my biggest advice to high school kids is somebody who's gone through it and played 4 years of college basketball is you have to go where there's going to be an opportunity for you. And if you get that opportunity, you can't sit on it and wait around, because college coaches will offer more players if you don't commit. An offer is only good for so long. And if a coach is interested in you and he wants you, sometimes you got to take that opportunity. And if it's not the level you want to play at now, you're going to have to go to that level and prove yourself and work your way up.
Yeah. What do you think about on the high school side?
Yeah, I mean, even more now, I think we could double down on it's a blessing to play after high school. You got to, matching top and bottom, referees, organized ball. At this point, any level is could feel like a dream come true. I mean, the amount of, players who aren't going to make it, I mean, it's 99%. So to be a part of that, 3, 2, 1%, whatever you call it, at the next level is a blessing. So that's my number one advice to high school is kind of what Niko said. The offer you get, you should probably take it. And be blessed about it. Don't, think that, hey, man, I could have gone this or I could have gone there, because there's professionals coming down to take the spot you thought you could play at.
Yeah.
I mean, let's keep it a buck, right? But, yeah, and then, these high school guys, alluding to what Niko said, there's so many of them. So you got to do a good job of building your brand, marketing yourself, being out there, reaching out to college coach, telling your high school coach, asking him if he could help you with his network and give him the right tools to do it. So, yeah, I think it's going to affect high school guys quite a bit. I mean, it's the same fear of older players, more experience coming down and a larger pool of them.
And I'll add to that, Jason. I don't mean to cut you off. But as somebody who's been through it, I'd like to think I had a solid high school career. I was fortunate to be on some good teams and score a lot of points and be recruited throughout high school. And, early in my high school career as a freshman and sophomore, I was getting recruited Division I. Later in my career, I was getting recruited more Division II, and I ended up going prep. I ended up ultimately landing at a D2, and I remember feeling like I wasn't playing at the level I was supposed to. And, you fast forward 4 years, I played at Eastern New Mexico. I was a role player. I had a good career, but I was never a star. And it just makes you think once you go through it, wow, college basketball is really a high level, and you should be blessed to play at any level. So
I've always said that myself, even kids that I've trained, my own kids, everything, I'm kind of been fortunate to, when I really got into training and doing all that stuff with guys, my kids didn't even play basketball. I didn't even know if they were going to ever play ball, so one advantage that I think my kids have, and something that I'm able to give, is my kids grow up. It's crazy. When you're training guys, everything, you got your group of guys you trained and you work with. But then as your kids come up, then the classes that they're in, you start to become really familiar with those classes. And you start to be able to share that knowledge with not just your own, kids, but also the kids in their classes. But I'm huge on every level of basketball is a higher level than like after high school. Every level is a higher junior, Division III junior college, Christian College League, NAIA, Division III, Division II, obviously Division I. But, a lot of these kids, those schools, those smaller classifications don't get as much exposure. So these kids don't really know and understand that brand of basketball.
It's true.
And how high it is. And the things that it take, they just look and say, okay, I see, these top teams, the top 25, whatever's playing on TV, and they're like, that's the level. But now more than ever, there's different paths to get there.
For sure. And people too don't realize the amount of work that goes into being able to play at that level.
Oh man, I'm glad you brought that up.
Hours and hours and hours. I mean, I look back at my high school career and going into college.
Hold on. Hold on.
Go ahead.
I'm glad you brought that up, but actually, I had something. I wanted to ask both of you guys these questions, and I'll start with you since you're on it.
For sure.
So say you're a freshman right now.
Mm-hmm.
You have a chance to play varsity. And we're talking about a high school player. You're a freshman high school player. You may or may not play varsity. It's the first day of summer. You know, you're going into your freshman year. You're looking at yourself and you're telling yourself, you got a chance to talk to yourself. What are you telling yourself?
I mean, the biggest thing I would tell myself is you're going to have to work as hard as you possibly can to even have a chance. Like high school, it's all well and great. You're talented, you're good. You're going to be able to play in high school. But if your goal is to truly play college basketball, it's going to take all the hours that it takes you and never give up, really.
That's what you would tell yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. What about you, Bash?
I mean, I would hit the weight room. Number one. I mean, it's simple as that. Freshman going in, you trying to get a varsity spot, you better be walking in August with 20 extra pounds. I mean, that's the minimum. Keep track of it. You know, maybe house that information somewhere. Your basketball skill from your freshman, sophomore, it's not going to jump too much. I mean, you're growing, your body's growing, you're trying to figure out how fast you are, how you move. So I would definitely recommend that someone make sure they can get some muscle on them, get some agility to them, athleticism, and then shoot some shots every day. But really focus on building your physical. The basketball stuff will come throughout the season. I think it gets more important as you get a little bit older.
I would say myself, build a relationship with your coach and understand why you do everything you do in practice. Your body's going to develop. You're going to obviously need to hit the weight room and everything. But the sooner and earlier you understand why you're doing every drill, every breakdown drill, everything you do in practice, the better. The sooner you're going to start to become a good player. In my opinion,
for sure.
I spent so long as a player, and kids I coach everything. They spend so long not understanding why we're doing what we're doing and why it's important, and they just want to have fun. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, this isn't fun. That it really hurts them and stunts them as a player.
For sure.
You know, I think that's important to help these high school guys out. But guys, man, that's been fun, man. It's been fun. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. We got some things coming up this year. I mean, we got the portal gonna open soon. We got March Madness. I'm sure we're gonna be back at the Final Four.
For sure.
Well, I guess that's it, guys. Thanks for joining us on the RevoCast. Once again, I'm your host, Jason Lott, Niko Bossinakis, Bash Jimenez. Thanks for joining us. Y'all have a good one.